What's up, everyone? This is Betamax. My name is Fidel, and joining me, as always, is Eddie and Birdie. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
We did it. We did
I
it.
know.
Dude.
I was trying not to look at you.
I wasn't looking at you, but I saw you in my peripherals. I like pointing it out, though.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty professional. So.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for sticking around. So, brought up an interesting topic to discuss on this
you
episode.
have a book that says "Tweak" on it. Is that like a book about?
It's the book that the movie was based on. Beautiful Boy.
Oh, is
That's
it?
the book. Yeah.
Bro.
It's not about the South Park character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept seeing that. I was like,
I had it in my room because I was like, I gotta fucking read a book, dude. Like, I get all these books and I start reading them and I don't continue.
I don't even read my manga.
Yeah, or like even the comic books I get. Like,
I usually eat those.
Yeah.
No, but so like I had that one in my room because I was like, I need to fucking read this shit. And I'm trying to keep shit on track, homie.
All right, my bad. That was my fault.
No, fuck Eddie.
Hey, no, this was bringing up fruit.
Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, I was just like, if it's in my room, I'm gonna read it. But no luck.
You'll
But
get there.
I gotta get there. It's the tension span shit, dude.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I got it back.
Did you really?
It's possible, dude.
Oh well, you said you binged the show. So.
Yeah. For once.
All right, but yeah, so getting back on track, the subject of this discussion was brought up because recently Eddie had messaged us, or was it? It was a text
okay.
message.
Yeah, I was on YouTube, right?
Okay.
All right. So
My fault again. Sorry.
I was on YouTube. And a fucking 15-second ad from Taco Bell popped up.
Yeah.
And what do you guys do in those like 15, 20 seconds?
If you can't skip,
Yeah, if you can't skip.
just sit there. Like, what
Do
are you
you
gonna
actually
do?
watch it, or do you try to like...
I turned the volume all the way down.
Okay, that's what I do.
I just let it play out. Like, I just whatever.
I either turn the volume down or like I distract myself
Mhm.
for like those couple seconds. Like I don't want to give it credit. Like, nah, I'm not sitting through this. But and this time, like, it's one of those rare times where I actually like kind of paid attention. It was a fucking Taco Bell commercial or ad, and it had a song that I recognized,
Mm-hmm.
and the song was Holiday
Holiday.
by Turnstile.
Yeah.
And I sent you a message. I don't remember what I said.
All you said was, I just heard Turnstile on the Taco Bell ad. LOL.
Yeah, because I thought it was funny, and I can't listen to them anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's like the only album I liked from them. Like,
I was gonna say because you weren't necessarily a big fan of
I
theirs.
wasn't, and now like all I hear is, all I see is like Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah. So I just been buying a ton of Taco Bell lately,
But
No.
just not eating it.
just listening to it.
Just listening to Taco Bell.
Yeah. So, what turned off?
Nothing.
Something turned off.
Yeah, it got really quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
No, nothing. It's still going.
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Yeah.
What did you guys hear?
That was probably your fan.
Maybe. I don't know what it was. But anyways. Are
No,
we still
it's-
recording?
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, yeah, we're
That's
pros. So anyways, that got you to think, oh, we should talk about this.
Yeah. And the reason is because you made it clear like that wasn't tight,
No, that was fucking lame.
and I think it's tight.
I think it's lame.
So
We kind of touched on it a little bit.
a little bit, yeah.
This is like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
like 2
it's
months
been a
ago or
while.
something.
It's been a while, but yeah, it was kind of like I guess the discussion could be about selling out and
What is selling out?
what is selling out, and like, yeah, basically what is selling out. What's your opinion of that, Burley, of the whole
Burley?
turnstile? Burley.
Burly man.
What was your thought on the whole turnstile being in the Taco Bell commercial?
I don't know. It's like very conflicting because like Well, I think it's more conflicting with me and Eddie because we grew up listening to punk.
Yeah.
So we grew up like with the
Fuck the establishment. Type.
Yeah, with like the ideology in music to be like, you know, like, oh, if you're doing shit like that, then, you know, that's not tight.
That's not
know?
punk.
That's not. Yeah, like that's not like. Man, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
Are you trying to get rich, or are you trying to actually make some good like jams? You know.
But why is that like? Why can't that be the same thing?
I think it depends on the kind of band it is, because like when you listen to like a hardcore band like Turnstile, like you want them to have that attitude of like, you know, fuck you, I don't care what you think, which is why I think it's so conflicting to me when I heard that song on the commercial, because to me it was them being like, fuck you, you know, like use our instrumental, you know, like who cares, you know, we're here to just do our thing, you know, which is cool, but at the same time it's like I said, how me and Eddie were kind of brought up like first listening to punk and graduating from there.
Yeah, because I never really got into punk.
Yeah, because I know for a fact like me and Eddie we were like high school kids and we were like those kids, you know. But I think that's why it's like when we hear shit like that go down, it's like I kind of hear that and I'm like.
Is it like disappointing?
Yeah, like you get disappointed, but at the same time, well, me, I don't know, but I don't speak for Eddie. I'm speaking for myself. Like me, I'll be like, in my head, I'm like, I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I feel like I would do the same thing because I don't want to starve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being said, I want to know what you think, Eddie. Like, I want to know how you feel about that.
To you guys, what is like selling out?
From my perspective, the idea of selling out is you're providing a product for the sole purpose of just earning like money. Not necessarily because you're being aware or being conscious of what you're putting out there, or even if you even love it or even have any fond like feelings towards it. It's just your sole drive is like you want to get money out of it. To me, that's what selling out is. You're not necessarily putting your emotion into it, your love into it. It's just, oh, this will make money. It'll go out there.
Yeah.
So kind of like turning whatever art you're doing into like a cookie cutter type of thing, where,
in a way, yeah.
Because I agree with you. I think when you trade in your principles for cash,
yeah,
that's selling out. And to me, I think for a lot of people, selling out is just when people change, like whatever. And to me, that's like not it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a band starts out selling a certain way, they completely change and they're like, oh, they sold out. And it's like, it always reminds me of like those dumb, like 40-year-old punks.
Yeah.
That like are still listening to the same shit they listened to in 8th grade. And they're like, oh, new music sucks. And it's just like, no, dude, you're lame. So to me, it's just about, like I said, your principles and all that. And then, like you said, if you're going to cash in, like, oh man, like, I don't know. Like Birdie said, like I come from the whole, like, punk background where it's like money should be like the least of your worries when it comes to art. And to me, a band that is already huge, like Turnstile, who, I don't know. I don't want to say if they have worldwide fame, but they're getting there.
They're getting there.
They're it's one of those things that I can see like a random person talking to me and like bringing up Turnstile.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely gotten to that point.
Yeah. So to me, it's like if you're at that level where you can still, you still have, you can still go higher, but you're at that level already. Like, why would you settle for a Taco Bell commercial out of all things? And it's not even like that band is like funny enough to be like in a Taco Bell commercial. Like it's not like, oh, what the fuck?
I agree with you.
Like there's bands that like, let me think of an example. Like Say Spaz, very tongue-in-cheek lyrics, like they had very fun band. If they were on a Taco Bell thing, I would laugh my ass off. Like, that's tight.
Why?
Because it's like more of a what the fuck, because they're just the way their music is oriented. It's not anywhere near how as like Turnstile. Like, it's totally different. It would actually make sense, like I said, because of the lyrics, where it's a band and they're nowhere near as famous as Turnstile is, or as easily accessible.
Yeah.
So, to me,
or
like,
as easily digestible.
or digestible, yeah.
Yeah.
So, where it's like the average Joe will listen to Turnstile, especially like the latest album, and be like, "This is tight." Where you give someone any Spaz album, and they're like, "It's gonna be hit or
What
miss."
the fuck is this?
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Like, to me, it's like you're probably making pretty good money now. You're only gonna make more. Like, why would you? I don't know, man. Like,
so you want them to just, like, once they reach a certain amount that they're
no,
making,
or at
just
least
like
do an ad where like it kind of makes sense. Like I said, like
But why?
Taco
But why
Bell
Taco?
ad.
To me,
because
to
it's
me, it
fast
makes sense.
food. Like
It okay.
it.
Do you know? I don't know if you know about how Taco Bell used to support bands on the road. They would give them like free food. Taco Bell and Chipotle did this actually. I guess the big story of it is Title Fight. I guess they gave Title Fight like these, like, I guess they would be considered Taco Bell black cards, and they could go while on tour, go to any Taco Bell, get free food. So they would do that for bands, like. So they were already into this genre of music. So maybe that's why the connection was made for Turnstile to be used in there. And who knows, somebody working in the ad agency for Taco Bell is probably a fucking hardcore kid. Was like, oh, this is Turnstile is a band that's easily digestible to like the normie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use their music and get shine on them for that, and like get a little more exposure for like hardcore, like, because to me hardcore is becoming I feel like I'm saying hardcore weird. Hardcore.
Hee haw.
I feel like hardcore is becoming a bigger thing now because of Turnstile.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that's also like why I hate it. Because
you don't want it to be that like.
No. That's why I hate the fact that they're on a Taco Bell thing.
Oh.
No, I mean, I wish more people were listening to hardcore, but
this is one way.
Like I said, like Turnstile is like, it's a good stepping stone into hardcore. But there's bands that are just, in my book.
But yeah, well, you just said you wouldn't mind more people listening to hardcore, and Turnstile being stepping stone. Yeah, Turnstile being a good stepping stone. A normie watching this Taco Bell ad listens to this and like, oh.
But these are new jacks we're talking about. These are new jacks, dude. So,
but I also agree with what Eddie said, where it's just like you have the choice to pick where your shit goes.
Oh yeah.
So why Taco Bell?
Why not?
Or why like?
If I think it's because I don't see Taco Bell as like this empire and like evil.
I don't see it that way either.
It's so crazy that you say that because you used to work there.
I did, yeah.
And did you love it?
No, but I mean that's any fast food place. Like it's not.
That also doesn't make it okay.
What do you mean?
Like for them, because like to me, I'm coming from like a worker standpoint, where it's just like these guys treat their workers like shit. They pay them like shit.
No, that's not why I didn't love it. I thought it was a decent job. Like it did. Like I can say that if I was there, I'd be making really good money right now. Like if I was still there, like I don't think they treat their employees bad. It was just it's just working in fast food, dealing with like customers.
Okay,
that's what
I've actually never had a fast food restaurant like job.
It's mostly because of the customers.
Okay.
Yeah, like I didn't really have the only bad experience I had with Taco Bell, it wasn't necessarily corporate shit. It was power hungry people that worked in the store.
Oh, okay.
That was my issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, I'm defending Taco Bell over here, dude.
I know, dude. All right, so did you ever watch that movie Bowling for Columbine?
I haven't, no.
Did you ever watch it?
Long time ago, dude.
Well, there's this scene in the movie where it's playing that song, What a Beautiful World.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the name of the song, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
The
Yeah,
Louis
yeah.
Armstrong song.
I don't know who sings it. What a beautiful
Yeah,
world.
Louis Armstrong.
That's a Louis
Yeah.
Armstrong.
So that song is playing while like the shittiest images are like being shown to you, images of the Holocaust, like just horrible things.
Yeah.
And that scene, I've only seen that movie once, and it was like in 8th grade. It has always stuck with me. Watchmen, the Bob Dylan song in the beginning, has always stuck with me. What I'm getting at is your art is gonna be
Yeah. No.
intertwined with whatever you what's the word I'm looking for,
Associate.
associate it with. And by you giving the okay for a fast food company to play your song, fast food company that's not very good, processed junk,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna kind of show where your music stands. And
Yeah, that's a good point.
like, I totally like it's at the level where I can't listen to them anymore because all I think about is a fucking quesarito. Like,
yeah, that's bomb. Huh?
So like it kind of reminds me of like I mentioned to you last time, like the whole Dead Kennedys. The reason Jello Biafra left was because they wanted to use his song California Uber Alice for a Levi's commercial.
Yeah.
And he literally left that fucking band, that fucking legacy he started, because he didn't want it. The rest of the band wanted to use it, but he's like, no, like that song has nothing to do with a fucking pair of Levi's.
And I think
if anything, it's anti that.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect example of like what it is to actually sell out, which is what those guys did to Dead Kennedys.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so at that point, like I don't know why anyone would even want to like see the Dead Kennedys live after he left. Like, I don't even know if they made an album after he left. Like they're just playing the same songs they played from like the early '80s. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
And people are still like supporting that crap.
They didn't even release a lot before he left, right? I think
a couple
had,
albums and like one compilation album.
Because they started in the 80s and they ended in the 80s.
They started in the 70s, like 78 or something like that. But yeah, to me, like I don't know, like that for you to like walk away from that much money, and it had to be good money if the whole band was like, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
Just, it could have been like a quick thing where like nobody would bat an eye. Everybody be like, oh, it's funny, like, a Dead Kennedy song on a Levi's commercial. But it meant more than that to Jello.
Yeah.
And like to me, that's what I don't know. Like that's why if I was to create something, if it's something that I wasn't like 100% about, like I wouldn't contribute. Like no matter what the money was. Like I'm not.
No, I agree with that mindset as well.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. Like if it's a song that I worked really hard on, like do I really want it to be on a Taco Bell commercial? Like I don't know, man.
Well, okay, so
I think most hardcore kids, they're just fucking dumb anyways, so they're just gonna be like, oh, that's so cool, that's tight, it's a Turnstile song on a Taco Bell, and like it in their like feeble little minds, it's just like a quick like fun thing, but I don't know. To me, it's just like, man, take your art more serious. Like,
yeah, I totally agree with you because I feel like if you're like your artistic integrity is in question and you're doing that, then I have to question your art.
Now, if you're a band that's like not known, you're coming from nothing, and Taco Bell hits you up, go for it. But if it's a band that had already like a giant foot in the door, it's like why would you do that? Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I personally don't see an issue with them being in a
You're
Taco Bell
wrong.
commercial.
You're wrong, dude.
I mean, I completely understand and I see where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
Like I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
I as shitty as it sounds, like I think it also just depends on the band and what their status is and what they're singing about and all that.
And who it is that they're allowing to use their art, right?
Yeah, and also what it is.
So what's your beef with Taco Bell, homie? Is it just because they...
It's just a shitty ass fucking company.
Well, what makes them shitty though? That's what I'm asking. Like what? Because they have like this processed food that they distribute to people, or like what's shitty about Taco Bell to you?
The food, the processed junk they feed people.
So it's like a fast food thing, like you said.
I think so. I would.
Yeah, I would put them like shoulder to shoulder with like every other fast food
Yeah, it's
company.
just
out
like
there.
McDonald's or.
Yeah. Which I mean,
Anything else.
eating Taco Bell doesn't make you a shitty person or like an idiot.
It gives you the shits.
But but it gives you the shits. But still, these guys are like,
But you guys eat Taco Bell, right?
no, I don't.
Never.
Never. I mean,
But occasionally.
I'm 31. Like I've had Taco Bell in my life, and I was at a point where I was eating Taco Bell as often as you do.
Yeah.
But still, it's like you kind of have to realize like maybe this shit isn't good for me, and maybe
I was
don't,
definitely not.
and maybe I want to make different choices, and maybe I don't want to support this company. Who
Hey,
keeps-
why is Turnstile supporting that, dude? now I'm pissed, dude. Do you want us to have clogged arteries?
At the end of the day, like it's just not good. Like it's just not good at all. Like I don't care if they come out with like vegan meat or like lettuce wraps or whatever. Like it's just not good. Like
Why?
What do you mean why? Like the proof is in the
Is it
pudding.
because of the way they make it, or?
Well, it's all processed food.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
You know what I mean?
Just
Like
bad for you,
like I'm
dude.
telling you, like I put it shoulder to shoulder with like any other fast food
Yeah.
joint that's out there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's nothing. I haven't heard like a healthy person go, I live off of like these fast food joints. Like this is why I'm so fit, and not having breathing problems when I'm sleeping. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But that's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I do. That's why I recently tried. I'm trying really hard to like just cook my own meals like at home. That way I don't have to like
Yeah.
go eat all that shit.
I think-
But like I said, like don't get me wrong. Like if you eat that, like it doesn't make you a shitty person.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna look at you and be like, ugh. Because like you said, like you asked me, like you do have Taco Bell, right? It's like, yeah, of course I do. Like there's like the other day, like I have food that I can prepare in my pantry and my refrigerator, but there's days where I'm just like, I really don't have time to spend an hour to make myself some like chicken and rice at the moment. I think I'm gonna have to go I think I have to go get some Taco Bell, because that's the only place where I can get my chicken and protein, you know what I mean? So in that essence, like, yeah, you're right. But there's also that kind of argument of like, you don't want to be doing that very often because then it has an effect on you, But like I said, I really want to make it clear that if you eat this shit, I'm not gonna like be like, don't hang out with me, you're fucking disgusting. It's like, no, man, like it's there, and it's like even I still eat some of that shit. Like last time we recorded, you guys saw me with like a bag of fucking McDonald's next to me, and it's like I didn't want to cook that day.
Yeah.
So it's like, where else am I gonna get my protein? But
Okay.
But yeah.
Look, I'm just down for everyone to get cancer. So I think everyone should eat Taco Bell.
that's like.
You heard it here first. Taco Bell gives you cancer.
Don't they have signs like in front of the stores that say that? Like if you consume some of our products, they are known to cause.
I don't know.
Hey, all meat causes cancer, dude. Stay woke.
Go vegan.
Go vegan.
I'm eating my hamburger real quick.
But yeah, I think we should move on from this Taco Bell argument. I think we should move on to other bands.
Well, okay. So the reason I'm asking is because like I completely understand and I agree with what you guys are saying. Like, because I don't think you guys might think I'm in a wrong stance or whatever. I don't think either of us are in a wrong stance because I feel like the whole thing is subjective.
Yeah, that's what.
is,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think we're trying to get to the point where we're trying to
Like
prove
who's wrong?
each other wrong.
Yeah.
But we're definitely trying to highlight where
Point of views.
like point of views and where to draw the line of like,
Yeah.
is this good for you or is this bad for you?
Because for me, I don't know what Taco Bell does business wise. Like, I think it would only be an issue for me knowing what they do with their money, or you know what I mean? Like, because as far as like the whole processed food shit goes, like that's gonna be any fast food place, and that's really up to the person buying it.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's up to you,
it's up to you,
the
basically.
individual,
Yeah.
to support these
Yeah.
type of people,
Yeah.
which is where Eddie's coming from, where he says, now that I hear your holiday song, now I'm like, Taco
Quesarito.
Bell.
It
Yeah.
is.
like-
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I'm right. It's not a big deal. But yeah, like another band that kind of, not necessarily. Well, okay, yeah, they in a similar situation was I don't know if you ever watched the Jawbreaker documentary.
Yes, I did.
They kind of went through a similar thing with Dear You.
Yeah.
When Dear You came out, how like because it was so people felt it was like overproduced and It was on a.
It had good recordings.
It had good recordings, yeah. So people were like, "Oh, they sold out. It sounds too good. It's not punk anymore." And it ended up being a lot of people's favorite album.
That's my favorite album.
It's mine, yeah, exactly. Like, what do you think about that type of selling out? Just like because the recording, or if like a band goes on a major label.
I think people are just done with that. It's like I said earlier. I think it's just people with the mentality that they're just afraid of growing for some reason, or afraid of being progressive. And I one band I see that a lot with is The Locust. Everyone's favorite album is Plague Soundscapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even count on my hands how many times I've seen this comment where it's like, just make another Plague Soundscape. And it's just like, why do you want a repeat album?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want 2 albums that sound the same? Like, if you love that album, just replay it. And I guess, like, really cool, while we're on The Locust, like, they went from playing, like, songs that are, like, 30, 40 seconds to, like the last album they released. They had actual, like, 4-minute, 5-minute songs, whatever.
Yeah.
And people got, like, butthurt about that for some reason. And I'm just like, dude, that's, like, the best album they ever made. And it, like, they grew. They fucking stretched their fucking wings and made something new, something fresh. And it's an amazing album, and people were just, it's not 30 seconds. I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I think repeat albums are
boring.
lame. They're boring. They become stale.
Yeah.
That's why I love people that start so many different bands. Like, you have, like Mark McCoy, Max Ward. Like, they all start bands. They release like 1 or 2 albums, and then they just move on. And then they've even said, like, Max Ward said, like, he just doesn't like bands getting stale. And I think people know, like, when a band is like, okay, I did what I could with these guys or with this sound, so I'm just gonna go do something else. And at that point, you can do 2 things. You could either start a new band, either with the same members, just with a different name, just go a different route, or you can stick with the same name and just do something completely different, but then you run that risk of fans turning on you and being like, oh, this is lame. It's not like the old stuff. And like another band that falls into that category is Ceremony.
Yeah.
When they started out, they were, hardcore, power violence, whatever. And now they're playing, like, what would you even call it?
It's like new wave type of, like, dance music almost. Post-punk.
Yeah. And they even made a shirt that says, I like the new Ceremony.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. It's a stupid shirt, but but it's true, because, like, they even know, like, people are gonna talk shit and, like, oh, I like the old Ceremony better. And it's like, well, let's just listen to it. Like, why?
I remember reading something. I think it was a excuse me. It was an interview that Ross, the singer, did, and he was asked about the sound change, and his comment, and I'm like paraphrasing here. He said, "Why do you want me to continue making songs that I wrote when I was 16 years old?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's always dumb fucking people with the same mentality. Like, that they're just afraid to go. Like, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, I just hate people. The whole thing where you're just so afraid of change and just finding new shit. Like, it's so weird to me. Like, sure, I listen to, like, songs that I've listened to since, 7th, 8th grade, but I'm also, like, not trying to listen to the same bands make the same type of music now.
I think one of the bands that really fell into that and like that kind of broke my heart. Like, that was one of the first bands that kind of broke my musical heart, where it was like I noticed what they were doing and I was just like, man, you should have died a long time ago. I really wish you would have died, like, after this album, but you're still going, and I know why, and it's because you're money hungry. And it was because they didn't want to progress, because they made an album that did progress, and I was like, this is my favorite fucking album. This is so good because it doesn't sound like them anymore. But then they hated that album. I found out they hated that album, and then they had internal issues, and then, like, the next album sounded like their old shit. I was like, oh, come on, dude. But I was talking about Blink-182.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of the first bands that I was like, Cause dude, I first listened to them when I was like fucking 6th grade.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're into like those first few albums that sounded really punk, and I remember hearing that, and I remember by the time that I was like in like 8th or 9th grade, which was when that self-titled came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this sounds so good. This sounds so good. I love it. You know, I mean, obviously it's not Enema of the State or Dude Ranch, you know,
Yeah.
but it to me, I was like, oh, it sounded so good, and then I never heard from them again until like I don't know, when did that other album come out?
Neighborhoods. So that one I believe was 2003. I want to say, or 2004, something like that.
Somewhere around there.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, I had already like moved on from them, but like to find out that they were that Mark and Travis were still trying to not progress from their own sound.
My bad. 2013 or something.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't remember being
Yeah.
that old, dude.
I was thinking of the self-titled.
Yeah, like well, anyways, like from that point, I was still like I had already moved on from being like a Blink-182 fan because I hadn't heard from them from so long, and then they did that, and then I found out what was going on inside, and then they did something else after that, and they kept doing the same thing, and I was like, man, you guys really broke my heart, dude. You know, you guys didn't want to progress, and you guys knew what you were doing, and it was all for the money, you know. Like
Well, to comment on that, because I'm a huge Blink-182 fan, so I do a lot of like background shit, like, so I feel like it's Mark's fault.
he was the one that didn't want to progress, right?
He didn't want to progress.
Like he was
So-
just like, let's just be pop punk Blink-182.
He wanted, dick
forever.
jokes, yeah. So
That's
and
why
that's
God gave him cancer, dude.
Oh my god, dude. You're a fucking asshole.
so from my
Hey,
understanding.
he lived. I can make fun of it.
Hey, bleep that out.
So that's what caused Tom to start Boxcar Racer, because he started Boxcar Racer as just like a studio band. It was just him.
Yeah.
But he asked Travis to come in and do some recordings, like on drums.
Yeah.
Ended up becoming a full band, and that's what he did that because that's the direction he wanted to take Blink. But Mark was like, nah. But Mark got like jealous, and then then the compromise was the self-titled. That's when they made the self-titled, but it was causing too much shit between Mark and Tom.
Yeah.
And they broke up.
Yeah. See.
And then like when they came back to do Neighborhoods, I remember listening to that and being like, this doesn't sound like cohesive. Like it sounds like it was recorded, or not. It sounds like it was recorded separately. It just didn't sound conjoined, if that makes any sense.
From the tracks that I heard, it just really sounded like they were trying really hard to reach back.
Yeah.
You know, like they were trying really hard to go back to like Dude Ranch or like Enema of the State.
And they, to me, it didn't really sound like they were in sync with each other.
Yeah.
And then I later found out that like Mark and Travis recorded in one studio, and then Tom recorded in his own studio. Like they didn't even record together. So, just to speak on the Blink.
Yeah, but then after that, even after Tom was like, you know, I'm not gonna leave the band. I'm just not gonna do music with you guys right now because you know what I mean. Like I remember like a couple years ago when the pandemic started, like Eddie would like send something to me, and he was like, "Man, I really wish this band would break up." And it was when they made that stupid ass Pandemic song.
That was fucking terrible.
Yeah, and that was like another like nail in the heart for me because it was like, just die, you know, like just leave it.
Yeah.
Go make your own shit, you know, like leave Blink-182 alone, because that song would have been such a good Blink-182 song if it was like if COVID happened in like the year 2000 or 1999.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to keep this from becoming a Blink-182 episode.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, that's fine. So is there any other band that you feel like had that sound change that people could be like, oh, they fucking sold out because they?
I wouldn't say they're a band. I would say it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I noticed is because I used to date a girl who was like super into like this chick's album, and I used to like always pick her up from like work, or she would pick me up from work sometimes. And she would play like the album in the car, and eventually like it got like in here in my head, and I remember like I caught myself like going on YouTube and looking up tracks, and I was like, this is tight. And then I found out that she had just like drastically changed her sound, and like I was like, oh, you did that because she like flat out admitted like, I just wanted to become more mainstream. I didn't want to be that chick anymore, which meant like
Yeah.
I had to make more money.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay, well, because she started off like country, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she made.
You know who I thought you were gonna say?
Who?
Nelly Furtado.
Oh, really?
I thought you were gonna say Nelly
Oh
Furtado.
shit! No, because she had made this album that like.
Eddie's like, I don't know.
I hate you guys, dude.
Eddie doesn't listen to pop music. That's why.
Tight.
He's punk. He's too punk. He doesn't sell out. That's why.
That's right.
But I think it was just.
But
like,
would you consider that her selling out?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because she flat out admitted like I had to make a more mainstream sound, like I had to make a more profitable sound, like I had to make something that was gonna give me more attention, and I was like,
See, what's interesting about that is we would call it selling out,
yeah,
but it wouldn't be regarded to as selling out from like a normal person, like a normie, like just a regular person that listens to pop music or whatever, you know?
yeah,
Because I feel like the whole thing of like being a sellout in music, I only see it prevalent in like hardcore, punk, like that type of
no,
music.
it's everywhere, dude.
But I don't hear it discussed as often. Like I don't see, or like I don't really see it with like hip hop groups or like with hip hop in a way, you know.
And I remember the one person who really started to kind of put it in my head on what was selling out and what wasn't was Immortal Technique.
Okay.
Because I remember I kept seeing interviews of him like talking shit on everybody. Like he was talking shit on everybody. He even had that like there was even a song of his where he had a verse. It's like where he was like, "Oh, you think your sound is better than mine? Like it's like that's not true. Your marketing techniques are better than mine. You know, just because you're putting all your money into your marketing team instead of putting all your money into your sound."
Yeah.
And I remember like he was like the first one to kind of like put it in my head. It was like, "Oh, so that's what that is," you know. But that's when I also realized that it's like it's not just a punk thing. It's like a hip hop thing, a country thing. Like it's like an all around thing where it's like, I think even some like R&B artists, you know, like where it's just like they sound like smooth and low in the beginning, but then like they're overproduced by the time they get like really known.
Because I think another example would probably be Eddie's gonna hate this as well. Lady Gaga.
I can't stand her, dude.
I can't either.
Well, I think she's an amazing singer, and like I've heard like early recordings like before she became famous. She's an amazing singer, but she did those like pop songs with catchy, repetitive choruses and shit, club bangers basically.
Yeah.
To make money, you know.
Yeah. And it's like with people like that, it's really easy to understand why they want to make money because their sound can become so like marketable and profitable. But I think like when me and Eddie start digging into it, we become more baffled as to why punk bands think it's okay to go that route, because it's like, how do you make a punk band profitable, or how do you make that sound marketable? You know what I mean?
Especially coming from that like punk ethos.
Yeah. And I think I even heard conversations like this from why Sergio had to turn A6DC, a power violence band, into like a grind metal band. Because I mean, when's the last time you heard a power violence band on the radio, you know, or get mentioned on a mainstream YouTube channel? You know, it's like they kind of had to cross over in order for them to survive, like fiscally, you know, because it's like,
I mean, they played some fucking festival in Europe with fucking Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, and it's like, when's the last time you saw like a power violence band do that? It's like, you never.
See, but like to me, like the whole changing the sound to do like, to me, like I don't care about that. Like to me, I'm not gonna go into if it's selling out or not. It all depends. But to me, it's like what you're using your art for. That's what gets me.
And I think that's a great point.
Yeah, that's definitely a great point.
Because it does matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you're using it for a Levi's commercial or a Taco Bell commercial or just, I don't know. How else can you market your sound? You know, that's another question. How else can you survive on where you want to put what? Where? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you don't have a lot of choices because, like, I mean, does Plant Power have commercials? You know what I mean?
They don't.
You know what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah, we should make a commercial for them.
I'm down.
But, yeah, that's also, like, another question, too, of, like, you know, But I become more sympathetic than Eddie because well, because Eddie's just an asshole.
But I mean, I am
Just kidding. I love you.
I am of the three of us. I'm the more, I guess you would say, the mainstream one. As far as like consuming media.
Like I was gonna say, I become more sympathetic because I also put myself in these people's shoes, and I'm just like, I don't want to starve. I don't want to starve, and I don't want to end up on the street.
But that's my thing, that they're already a big band. That's what pisses me off. Like, you're already there, dude. Like,
maybe, okay.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, that is understandable, and I agree with you saying that. But are they though? Because yeah, they're big to us, you know, especially coming from hardcore. Yeah, they're fucking huge, dude.
That's what I mean. They had their foot in the door, like.
And maybe this is gonna fucking launch them to the fucking stratosphere of that shit. I mean, because it's definitely going to do that after the Blink-182 tour.
Yeah, but is it worth having people think of Taco Bell while listening to your music?
But that's what I'm saying. It's a subjective thing. Like, you're gonna be thinking about that. Yeah,
you're not gonna think about it.
No.
Well, if you look,
hold on. And the reason I think I'm not is because
dude,
because the reason I think it's more prevalent or it's more in your mind, that the Taco Bell thing, is because you're not that big of a fan of theirs. And
Taco Bell?
No, of Turnstile. Of Turnstile. Because I've been a fan of them, not like since the beginning, obviously. Like, I got into them pretty late, but I'm more familiar with more of their catalog. And like, you literally only like this album.
All right. Say, for instance, if it was like Daughters.
Okay.
Then when I'm talking about, I'd be pissed, dude.
And I could see that.
I'm a huge Daughters fan. But I would be like, why? I don't want to think about Taco Bell when I'm like hearing your poetic ass fucking songs. But if I hear like, I don't know, like if it was like The Locust, I would be like, that's tight, that's funny. But see, that's what I mean. It's all about the bands and all that. And I know, like, they would never do that. Like, I know. But that's what I mean. Like, to me, it's not even about, like, if I'm a fan or not. I think if I was, like, if anything, I think that would help them out more. I think if I was a fan of theirs from the beginning, I'd be more mad now. I'd be like, oh, that sucks, dude. But I don't know, man. Like
I said, I understand where you're coming from. And I'm not saying, like, you're wrong, because like Birdie said, we're not doing the whole who's wrong here.
Oh, we're not.
Fuck, I lost my point. I was about to make a point.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I was gonna add onto my own point of, like, you know, me putting myself in like these band shoes of like,
yeah,
and you know, I don't want to starve.
Say it a little louder.
I don't want to starve. And I don't want to be crashing on my homie's couch. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's like, how far do you have to take it in order for yourself to be comfortable financially? You know, I think that's the real question, and I think those are the kind of moves these people are making. You know, it's like I don't know. I guess it also depends on the person. You know, because it's like, I know that people like us, like if we ended up with a house like this, like, we'd be fine. But there's also people out there that are like, I want a 3-story fucking 10-car garage.
Unnecessary.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna hit up my manager and just tell him to put my fucking song on a McDonald's commercial, you know, so I can get my big house. You know?
Yeah.
So it also depends on the kind of people, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just where I'm coming from, because like, I always think about that, where it's like, what if I do something artistically
and someone wants to pay you for it,
and you know, I'm getting popular and I'm getting known, you know, and I'm like, my phone's blowing up like 24/7, and then all of a sudden I have to get a manager, and then all of a sudden my manager hits me up and he's like, hey, you feel like making $100,000? And I'm like, depends. You know, like, what am I supposed to be doing here? That thing you made that's blowing up, can I put it on a Burger King commercial? You know, like, am I gonna say yes or no? Say it. Say
Nothing.
it. Say something.
Nothing.
Come
If
on.
Okay, you're working on a project right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Say somebody sees that and like, I like the way this guy puts his shit together, the way he edits, all that. I want to hire him to do a Taco Bell commercial.
I would do it in a heartbeat. I just wouldn't have my music or
But it would be your name on it still.
not on.
Yeah, because people are gonna want to look at that.
But
and
it would be something I crafted specifically for them, though.
But it's still your art. Like,
yeah, like it's
still
something,
something you
somewhat, but it's handcrafted for them specifically for that. It wasn't a song that I created for myself. That's like, hey, I want to use your personal stuff for that. That would.
So
be
it's
different.
only music based for you.
So if they had hit up Turnstile, I'm like, hey, we want you to write a song for Taco Bell.
That'd be different.
That would be totally different, because then I'd be like, okay.
We also have to look at the fact that Turnstile might have not had any say in the decision process with this. It could have been their label because they're on Roadrunner Records, which is a pretty big label.
I still think they would have, or at least I would have thrown a fucking fit. I would have been like, no, fuck that. Like, we're calling it quits right now. What's more important, this Taco Bell commercial or us? I'm pretty sure they would choose them, considering how big they're getting.
And like maybe they did have a say, and obviously they don't have an issue with Taco Bell.
Okay. This kind of takes me back to like the whole Christopher Nolan thing with the shitty movie, Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. And I know Birdie's always like, I know you love Christopher Nolan, dude.
Yeah, he's dead.
And I know you like. You try to look at the positive about this movie and like,
yeah,
it's not his fault,
come on, dude. Like,
no, he could have fucking said no.
No, dude.
No,
like
he
you,
coulda said no.
like you're not gonna look at it this way. Like
He was in a shitty situation. He was in a tight spot. He
could have booked it. He
no,
said,
no,
nah,
dude,
nah.
no, because that's like you saying like, no, that's like that's like saying like because the Dark Knight was like his girl. That was his girl, and that's like you being like, I won't fuck my girl anymore. You fuck her. You know what I mean? It's like, because I know I'm not going to do a good job. It's like, no, I'm still going to fuck my girl and do the best I can. And I'm still going to complete this shit.
And live with that shame? Fuck no, dude.
It's not a terrible movie, dude.
It's a bad movie,
it's
dude.
It's bad, but not terrible. You're making it
I would say terrible, because I wanted to leave the theater, dude. I was laughing at it. And not like it was funny.
Let's move on, because my blood's boiling. Right
But anyways, the point I'm trying to get at is like, you have chances to like walk away from your name being associated and attached to that.
Yeah.
And he has other movies that I don't like, but I wouldn't necessarily call them terrible.
Yeah.
This movie I would consider terrible. I would consider The Dark Knight Rises a terrible movie. And it's like, dude, this guy could have had like nothing but great movies, but he did that, and that's like forever stamped with his name on it. And it's like, dude, you did that to yourself. And maybe people have forgotten because you've made all these other great movies, but I haven't. I don't think most people are like, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people did. But that's what I mean. Like, sometimes you gotta say no and just keep your, I don't know, your integrity, and just.
I personally, like, neither of us know the parameters of this contract.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I do.
But we just know how we feel about him.
Yeah.
And we know how we would handle these sort of situations if we ran into them ourselves.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say about like us talking about this, I hate when people are like, oh, I hate when people are so negative about like comments, like when they're just like, oh, just if you don't have anything like,
if you have anything nice
productive to say or something like that, like just don't say it at all. It's like, nah, screw that.
Because
like,
then you're being counterproductive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
you're not allowing growth.
Yeah. It's better to have either a good opinion about something or a bad opinion than no opinion on something.
Yeah.
So.
Because I would rather make something and have someone be like, that sucks.
It's like, okay, why did it suck?
Yeah, now I'm like, well, why did it suck?
Then it'd be so boring that they just don't even want to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at with this whole sellout thing, like, where it's just like kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's important to have opinions on everything. And if you think a band sucks, then say it. This band fucking sucks. This band is great. But don't be like, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you play shows and they tell you, oh, your band's like, that's worse than saying your band sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fucking right, dude. Yeah, that's true.
So in conclusion, I'm right. You guys are fucking wrong.
So in conclusion, Eddie is pro bullying. Eddie is bring back bullying 2023.
Hey, we gotta bring back bullying, dude.
Well, I felt like this was a good discussion to have. That I honestly thought I was gonna get a little more heated. But
I think
I'm too tired, dude.
Yeah, I think it would have if we were like more on point.
Yeah.
But I think we still had a pretty good discussion.
Yeah, it was a pretty good discussion.
Yeah.
But for those listening, what are your thoughts? Let us know what you think. How you think I'm right and these guys are. Go watch that talk about that. No, I want to thank everybody for sticking around. Yeah, I do want to hear what people think, though.
I am curious too.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
very
me
curious.
too. Because I would like to know. Like I always get so curious about like, well, because we have so many friends that like are very artistic. And,
Yeah.
like, they make so much shit that we're like sometimes we're like, how are you not more popular?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would like to know how they feel like.
Yeah, you dummies. Go ahead and say, oh, I think it's good for them.
Shut up. But I
That,
think
I just took a last comment on that. That is the consensus. Like, oh, that's fucking tight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
But yeah, like I definitely want to hear from people. Like Birdie said, we have a lot of friends that are artistic, and I would like to know their stance, so I could block the. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. You could find us on any of our social media, Betamax ULTD, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. Just search Betamax, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.
Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving steady.